Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5.
The Salvation Army made a plea for help. We'll show you how the community stepped up and answered it.
It's hard to believe that anyone could survive this, but we'll tell you how 2 people made it out alive.
An executive order by the governor has some smokers upset and looking for a new place to light up.
WKYT News at 5 starts now. We started the day very early with a record low, but the Arctic air didn't stick around. Unfortunately, though, that break that we're having right now, it's not going to last long.
WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey's here now with more on what we can expect for tonight. How about it, Chris?
Yeah, guys, those gusty winds already now ushering in another change. So as soon as we warm it up, we're going to chill it back down again. And that warm air this afternoon, basically relative. It's still much colder than it should be for this time of year. But nothing like what we had into very, very early this morning. It was another record low temperature for the city of Lexington. The old record this morning was 14 from 1951. We smashed that with 11 degrees showing up on the thermometer. That was the coldest temperature on record for the city of Lexington for this early in the season. So now tomorrow those records are down in the single digits, but from today and back through the early part of November, we've never been as cold as we have been this morning, as we were this morning, 11. Now this afternoon, those temperatures are responding in a very good way. We're running 20 to 24 degrees warmer than at this same point yesterday. Current readings, 45 degrees, 55 is the normal high, by the way, 41 up into the Covington area. Gusty winds have been topping out 35 to 40 miles an hour, so it's never feeling as warm as those 40s. 38 is the current wind chill in Lexington. Now we're tracking the temperatures to go the other way again. It's an up and down, at least forecast in the short term. We're on the up part of it now. Here comes the down part. That's another Arctic front that will unleash temperatures tomorrow that will be much colder than today, and that'll carry us into Friday. And also, potential is there for a couple of snow flurries or periods of light snow later tonight. Then, guys, we'll watch the weekend forecast. We warm it up with a little rain, and then next week, it's Thanksgiving week. We've got cold changes lurking in your 7-day just ahead.
Chris, thank you. Thanks to the generosity of the community, workers of the Salvation Army were busy sorting through new donations of winter clothing today.
A lot of people responded after the organization put out a plea for help yesterday, and while the donations do help, as Jordan Valline shows us, there's still a need for more. It's our top story at 5.
Last night at 11, we told you about the Salvation Army's dire need for donations, and many of you heard the message loud and clear and acted on it. On Wednesday morning, bags and boxes filled with donated winter clothing began piling up in the Salvation Army's drop-off center.
Giving what they can. They're bringing in coats and hats and gloves and mittens, and those are all things that we really need.
Since winter set in early this year, the need for warm clothing is at an all-time high.
We've heard on the news it's going to be a long, cold winter, so this need is not going to go away.
Even though the mountain of donations may look like a lot, Major Deborah Ashcraft says these donations will be gone in just a few days' time.
And if you can't look at your closets until the weekend or even next week, please remember there is a need here in our local community.
The drop-off center will accept donations on Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. In Lexington, Jordan Valline, WKYT.
Also, if you'd like to donate after hours or on weekends, you can do that at the Salvation Army's front office on West Main Street in Lexington.
The early blast of winter has buried parts of western New York State. The snow is up to the ceilings, with more expected to fall overnight. It has been blamed for 6 deaths and could end in a federal disaster declaration. Jerika Duncan talks to some people who were brave enough to start trying to dig out today.
It is not unusual for western New York to get 100 inches of snow every winter, but the Buffalo area could get that much by the time this deadly 4-day storm is over.
This is an historic event. I believe when all is said and done, this snowfall may break all sorts of records.
So we're officially calling it Winter Storm Knife in regards to the knife that cut through the heart of Erie County.
Vehicles buried in snow are making it difficult for crews to plow the roads. Rescue teams spent the day trying to get to hundreds of people stranded in their vehicles.
We have 18 snowmobiles that are responding to EMS calls, responding to stranded motorists.
The Niagara University women's basketball team was stuck on their bus for at least 24 hours.
The kids were great. They hung in there, you know, trying to cheer each other up.
More lake effect storms are expected to blast this area overnight with up to 5 inches of snow falling per hour. Residents are being urged to stay off the roads and hunker down until this deadly weather finally clears out on Friday. People are also being advised to be careful removing snow. Several people suffered deadly heart attacks while shoveling. Another man was found dead in his car, buried under at least 12 feet of snow. Jerika Duncan, CBS News, West Seneca, New York.
The Buffalo Bills are offering people $10 an hour and a game ticket to help clear the stadium of snow for Sunday's game against the New York Jets.
An elderly couple made it out of their home just before it exploded early this morning. It happened about 6:30 in K. Patton Branch in Magoffin County. The couple doesn't have much left because of the explosion. It destroyed their home. WKYT Sam Smith is tracking the investigation into what caused it.
The elderly couple that lived here is doing all right. They made it out of the house before it exploded. Before the explosion, the home caught fire. Officials say the fire ignited an oxygen tank inside the home, which caused the blast. Investigators are looking into the cause of the fire and the possibility it started because of a space heater. The home was not insured, so the couple's grandson plans to place donation bins around town for anyone that wants to help the couple out. The impact of the explosion knocked out electricity at that property and a neighbor's home. The flames burned the cars parked in front of the house, leaving them destroyed. We talked with a neighbor that has lived next to the couple for 30 years. He says he was not home at the time of the explosion and rushed back as soon as he heard about what happened. He hopes they get the help they need.
When I got here, I just didn't know what was going on. I just didn't want. I wanted to make sure they was all right and everything, you know, just as long as they got out of the house. I mean, I hate that they lost everything, but you know, it happens, you know.
The couple owns these other structures on this property and will have a place to stay after this explosion. In Magoffin County, Sam Smith, WKYT.
The couple was taken to the hospital as a precaution.
Starting tomorrow, all of Kentucky's executive branch campuses go tobacco-free. That means no smoking, chewing tobacco, or e-cigarettes. The goal is to encourage employees to quit, but as WKYT's Victor Puente shows us, not everyone agrees with the plan. The story is new at 5.
The governor's office announced this ban in September. They said they wanted to give people plenty of time to make the transition as these grounds went tobacco-free. But with thousands of employees affected, there are some people who say they don't approve of this switch. The order by Governor Steve Beshear aims to make all executive branch campuses tobacco-free. That means no smoking in government-owned vehicles or on the sidewalk, parking lots, or yards of almost 3,000 state buildings. It also includes chewing tobacco and e-cigarettes. It goes into effect Thursday, the same day as the American Cancer Society's Great American Smokeout. The governor's office says there are 5,000 executive branch employees who identified as smokers. Their hope is the move will encourage them to quit. At the state's Human Resources building, it wasn't hard to find people smoking, but it was a challenge to find anyone willing to talk on camera about the ban. The one woman I did speak to told me the ban wouldn't change if she smoked, it would just change where she smoked.
Down a hill to the sidewalk on Martin Luther King or East Main Street. So instead of them seeing us sitting here smoking, they're going to see everybody lying in the street smoking. How does that improve anything? It's not going to make people quit.
The ban does have some exceptions, including rest areas, state parks, and the Kentucky Horse Park. Now, because it's an executive order, it doesn't have any impact on legislative or judicial buildings. They have their own set of tobacco rules. For example, you can still smoke in certain parts of the Capitol Annex. In Frankfort, Victor Puente, WKYT.
The governor's office says Kentucky is the 5th state to have an order making executive buildings tobacco-free.
Exterminators had to return to a central Kentucky courthouse because of bed bugs. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Clark County. The Winchester Sun reporting a person in the district courtroom found a bed bug Monday. Workers sprayed on every floor of the judicial annex yesterday. The courthouse also had to be treated in October after a report of a bed bug. A Boone County grand jury has indicted a man accused in a string of break-ins. Christopher Spreader is charged with 6 counts of burglary and 7 counts of theft. Police say that he would drive by barns in places like Union and Burlington to case them before returning after dark to steal tools and equipment. Police say he sold the items to support a heroin addiction.
There are a lot of unique methods of predicting what kind of weather we'll have. We'll show you some of the everyday signs that people use. Gluten-free diets have become more common in the last few years. We look at why people have started to avoid it. That's in Better Living. And a majority of Kentuckians have already received their property tax bills unless they live in Jackson County. The reason for the holdup there on WKYT News at 5:30.